This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we will call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Of the United States of America, the republic for which stands
Nation under God.
with liberty and justice for all.
In order to gather this day to do important business for the people of the village. Grant the wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen. So first thing on our agenda tonight, different than usual, we have a public hearing on a local law overriding the 2% tax cap. We're looking for comments only on that in this motion.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
This is Laura Young. I reside at 22 Fulton Street in Owego. On the going over the tax cap that's presented tonight, I am completely against it. I don't think it's good governance. I think right now the reality is, and I don't think a lot of you realize it, that we have many elderly people who are homeowners that are living on very fixed incomes. Gas has gone up. Their medical expenses, their copays have gone up. Food, astronomical inflation, and it's not going to get any better. They don't need one more thing to fear. I also spoke today with some working class first-time homeowners. They felt the same way. And here is the reason why, is because I'm already getting people just like the ones I told you about using the food pantry, because they are using the food pantry and it's humiliating them, because the food that the little money they can save using the food pantry, they actually can put to the side to help pay taxes, which are always going up. The elderly want to die at home, and I don't see why we need it. I don't see any reason whatsoever. If there's a catastrophe, we have a contingency fund. We have money. I'm sorry, there's money in each department that's more or less a slush. We could use that. And those are my thoughts. These people do not need to have more pressure placed upon them at this time. They're hungry, they're scared, they're struggling. Thank you.
All right.
Tamara Gates, 565th Avenue, Owego. It's not hard when you're driving anywhere in Owego to find abandoned houses that are not meeting code, and probably their property values are going down and they've been reassessed for taxes at a lower rate, or who knows. Why not just go after that so that you can raise more tax money without taxing the rest of us who are already paying our taxes?
All right. Any other for the public hearing? Once, twice. The assessment answer is the town assesses, we don't assess. That's the town. All right.
Next, are we unable to work with the town?
Next item is public comment. If you want to speak,
Go ahead.
raise your hand and you'll get 3 minutes.
Okay, it's Laura Young again.
No, wait, somebody already asked it.
Oh, I didn't see. Okay, sorry.
Okay, Wendy, I'll research you.
Wendy Dice, 383 Front Street, Owego, New York. So I'm here once again about the roosters. I've done some research. Can I pass this out to the board?
Yep.
I don't know if I made enough. It's okay, I'll share.
We can share.
Great. Pass them around. Thanks. All right. So regarding the roosters in the village, I went online and did some research. New York State has general guidelines which widely prohibit in residential districts, roosters. So then I went to the individual towns and villages. So Binghamton, roosters are not permitted. Johnson City, roosters are strictly prohibited. Vestal, roosters are explicitly prohibited. Village of Endicott, it's illegal to keep chickens, roosters, or other type of fowl within the incorporated village limits. And roosters are strictly banned on properties under 3 acres. Village of Waverly explicitly bans the harboring, housing, or pasturing of any chickens, turkeys, or roosters. Town of Owego must have 5 acres minimum. Maine, roosters strictly prohibited. Tioga Center, explicitly banned. Town of Conklin, explicitly prohibited. Whitney Point, strictly prohibited. Windsor, prohibited. Kirkwood, banned in all residential zones. Port Crane, roosters universally prohibited. Village of Port Dickinson, prohibited. You're getting my drift. So in Broome and Tioga County, which is the area that we live in, I'm asking the village board to take action on banning roosters. We're not something out of the ordinary. Everybody has it. And so do I have any more time left?
30 seconds.
Okay, because I have the feeling some people would say, well, just because everybody else bans it, then why should we ban it? But here's the other thing I want to say. If everybody else dropped their taxes 5% and we didn't, then they don't be complaining about that.
Thanks, Wendy.
Can I ask her a question?
No, we don't want to like have public to public right now. We got too many people.
Okay,
Can I just direct it to the board? The information that she gave you, right, about the strict prohibition of roosters, what is the reason for the strictness? Is there a specific reason for the strictness?
You have to ask all these places.
I can answer that if you want me to. If you don't want that, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Assuming by the paper, Charles, there's noise ordinance.
Thank you, that's what I was getting at. Because the-
Okay, public comment is next.
You can go first. I'll follow up. I have a correction to this.
Tamara?
Every time, Hammer Gates, 565th Avenue, here we go. Every time our team wins a game, remember, I live on Fifth Ave, and sometimes as late as 11:30 at night, here's every emergency vehicle and all the parents honking their horns. Where's the noise ordinance? I live by a train track that goes sometimes blowing the horn, sometimes not, between 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning. When we got here, taking me out of the car, I hear dogs continually barking down the street. But no one's checking in on that noise ordinance, so why roosters, which by the way, do not crow during the dark because they're night blind and they sleep.
Oh, no.
Well, wrong.
Sorry.
Rooster by me is 3:30 in the morning.
Then you need to do right.
Well, then
That's not-
there's one other thing that can be done. It's called a night box. It's been working out very well in other countries. It's just starting to take hold here. Your rooster goes into their own private bedroom at night. They are muffled. They cannot stretch their necks to crow. And it's not until the morning that they get to come out of their rooster box.
That's according to cartoons, because that's when I grew up on cartoons, and I always thought roosters only crowed in the morning. No, they don't.
Charles,
Sorry.
can't have like
I'm
crazy.
sorry. I can't help myself.
But I, I get the feeling that this rooster ban, the chicken ban that you want in, the egg ban is more of a personal glitch in someone because we cannot find evidence that these are huge problems. It's gossip, it's hearsay, because it's not documented. And I think that we cannot make a decision until there's some real documentation. It's like, as I pointed out to someone today, it's like saying someone fell on the sidewalk, so now we have to ban everyone who's walking. And I don't think that's fair or true. Thank you.
Can I go next? My name is Laura Young, 22 Fulton Street. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you. All right, here's the banning the rooster law. I watched and rewatched that meeting. There were multiple times that trustees asked if they could put in additional much more restrictive laws, including the banning of the sale of eggs, which is none of your business. That's up to New York State. And the size of the flock, 3 to 10 or something like that. I got in contact with a professor of law at Cornell today. I said, "Do you see what I'm seeing?" He said, "What are you seeing?" I said, "I'm seeing a law that is being made specifically to have a backdoor entry for much more restrictions to come through. We have law on the books for noise ordinance. We have laws on the books for birds at large. I already lost a creature I loved, my crow, last fall because I saw exactly where this was going. I gave up something I'd had for 2 years. My rooster couldn't even crow. And just as a matter of fact, the 3 other flock keepers that you could not be bothered to visit right in this neighborhood in the first ward, they have all rehomed their roosters already because it's going to be so difficult. People will just get them to cull them. We loved these creatures. We're finding them homes for them. You already won. You are doing passive, aggressive administration here. And it's seen. And I wasn't the only one who thought that. The professor agreed with me. Backdoor legislation. Thank you.
Okay, one correction to your statement about Binghamton. There
Who are
are
you, sir?
sections. My name is Doug Weeks. I live at 560 Fifth Avenue.
Sir.
And I have been here numerous times to ask exactly the same question, and I would like an answer.
I interrupted you before you got your question, sorry, I just wanted.
That's all right, that's all. I asked, what complaints have been lodged and what action has been taken on those complaints? And thus far, I've gotten no answers. So my understanding from that is there are no complaints that are actual complaints. They're talking points. To your point, yes, there are wards in the city of Binghamton, and that you don't need to respond. There are wards in Binghamton that do ban chickens. You're absolutely correct. However, they also accept them. There are some that accept them. My point is this, and I have sent you all a copy of my notice. I'm asking you to actually track the number of complaints, chicken-related complaints, and what's being done to solve them. If you guys can't do it, I have said I have a phone that I'm not using right now. I was using it when I was working remotely for another agency. I don't even know what the phone number is, but I'm willing to use that phone number, put a message on it that says, this is the Owego chicken hotline, whatever you want to say, collect all those calls and report to you every single month exactly what complaints have come in, exactly what's happened to them, and how they've been dealt with. There are laws on the books right now that could deal with all of that. There are laws that would deal with the noise. It's a noise ordinance. OPD can handle that. I've heard, oh, there's terrible smells coming from chicken places. I don't know where they are because there's no specifics given. Okay, that's a health issue. the health department will come in and do that. And yes, I've heard people say the health department doesn't come into the village of Owego. Really? Anybody here eat in any of the restaurants in the village of Owego? They're all inspected by the county health department, every single one of them. So there are methods to take care of the problem, but the problem is you want to pass a law and you don't know what the specific problems are, and you haven't taken steps to correct them. Let's take steps to correct them, enforce the actual laws that are in place, and then move forward. If we need to have a law, great, we have to have a law, but let's operate on an educated basis rather than, well, my cousin's second friend's brother's cousin. No, let's deal with actual facts, actual complaints that have been registered.
You have 3 minutes, but
I figured I would.
Harry, who's next? Public comment.
Well,
Say your name
first of all, I'd like to
and
know,
identify yourself.
I'm Susan Peterson. I live on George Street, down near the playing fields.
Okay.
Right now, I only have a few chickens. I have at some points had quite a few. But I want to know what those, anybody who's for having a restrictive ordinance about chickens, what's your motivation? Why do you want that? Because it would take away something, that's valuable to me. That's part of what lets me enjoy my retirement. I can't go to Bali or, travel in Europe. I don't have the money, but I can have my chickens pecking around and I enjoy it. So why would you want to, what's so important that you want to take that from me? I don't know if this is a back and forth, but.
No, I mean, the only thing on the docket right now is the roosters, nothing about chickens at all.
Well, somebody said, I don't
Point of
understand
order.
it, but somebody
Roosters are
said
chickens?
that,
The last meeting they talked
I'm
about.
sorry.
it as well.
somebody says that if you have that, it would be easier to get more laws
Correct, it was
associated
that.
with chickens. I don't understand exactly how that works, but I like to hatch chicks. I've had it several times, hens that like to sit and hatch chicks, and it's just delightful to see a hen with the little chicks going, and you can't have that without a rooster. The roosters are necessary to that. I don't need to have as many as I've had it sometimes. It just wasn't fast enough getting rid of them, because if you hatch eggs, half of them are going to be males, so you have to find somebody else to take them or sell them at the sale or butcher them. But anyway, I love to see that, and you need a rooster for that. They're beautiful. They're beautiful birds too. Lots of roosters. They have so many different colors.
That's an interesting point. No, it is. Is there an order people are speaking?
Yes, you get recognized with the floor and then you get the floor.
Will you all recognize me?
Talk to the floor.
Let me reset your time.
Uh-oh. I'll be quick.
So what? Just state your name.
My name is the husband of Susan Peterson, Chris Peterson. I live in the same house as Susan Peterson. And that's an interesting point, because I've heard people, I've looked online and people have said that there are folks who think that they want to turn Owego into another Ithaca, God forbid. And people are living in an upscale manner, and they don't want to have a dirty farmyard next to their house. It's like, what the point she just raised is, Susan here, is that the roosters are beautiful, can be beautiful animals. They can be disgusting, but they're also beautiful. They're kind of like they can be like an ornament, I mean, that's just the only point I have to make.
By the way, accepts.
I'm sorry?
Yes, you accept chicken.
You do? Oh,
How about that?
that's a surprise. I've already made it.
Because they're into being natural and earthy and self-sustaining and all the things that chickens are connected to.
They're organic too.
And
Very
the
much-
eggs
very much
that
so.
you get from them taste better than the eggs
Oh,
from the
that's
store.
the other point I wanted to make. Hey, do I still got a couple
Yeah.
seconds? So I worked as a professional chef in Baltimore and in Annapolis for about 20 years. And I want to testify that the eggs from chickens just scratching about and eating all kinds of things, free range, or limited free range chickens, if I can coin a phrase. I shouldn't do it. They taste better. The eggs taste better. The whites are firmer. They're much more tasty. So there's real benefit. There's an aesthetic benefit, and there's something that's not an aesthetic benefit. Smell like chicken. But they're also the eggs are much better, much superior. You want to make a hollandaise, it can't be beat. Egg whites for making various cakes and stuff. They're really, really good. So take that away and you remove that from the village. I only know one place you can get free range chicken eggs. It's that little bakery that opened up 3 years ago on North Ave. Oh, you, what?
I won the bakery. Oops.
It's a really good place.
You own the
And I
bakery.
understand they have local eggs.
Well, my wife technically owns it. She gave me 40%.
You hear that?
All right, I
I
see we
get
have
40%.
Tamara again. Do we have anybody else that hasn't spoke that wants to speak?
Hi, my name's Dylan Rockwell. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. Sorry, I'd like to stand and
Yes.
face. Not long ago, we all remember paying almost $10 a dozen for eggs. $7 if it was those white eggs, foot by foot chicken boxes they're in. Horrible life factory farms. They're not really farms. CAFOs, concentrated animal feed operations. Not really farms. That's not what we're raising here. You need to sustain ourselves, chickens. When stores were hiking up their costs, I was still at $4. I didn't charge more. Van Spoy wasn't charging me more. The eggs you're getting in the store, they're almost 60 days old. You have 30 days from the CAFO to get it to the distributor, and then another 30 days. So that's 60 days. You know how much nutrition that you're losing in your eggs in the store? They're also being treated with possibly bleach. Your meat, if you're eating meat from the store, I'm sorry. When you buy local eggs, you're buying fresh eggs, usually laid that same week. You're helping support a neighbor, local businesses, and provide them, and the businesses that provide them with the food, like Van Spoy. Last year, my partner and I donated over 50 dozen eggs to the Tioga County Rural Ministries. And I know many other chicken keepers in the village that donated their time, eggs, and other food that they grow, like our vegetables. I use my chicken manure for my garden, and I donate hundreds of pounds of vegetables. I also sell eggs, hatching eggs. I have a rooster. I'm not in the village. However, many friends and family live here. And I would possibly live in the village, but if you're going to ban roosters, that's a non-negotiable. Our food system's vulnerable, and it seems that the board wants to continue egging on the vulnerable food system. We can't self-support, so I guess that's where the village wants to go to. There has been not any proof that there are any problems. No documentation. I hear a couple squeaky wheels in the back who they weren't interrupted during their time, but interrupted others. However, we have blighted buildings, slumlords who cannot take care of their places. And I feel like this is just not the village's #1 concern. Affordability should be, not whether or not you can maintain your food. Thank you.
Excuse me, Dylan. What's your address, please?
I'm not giving my address. Thank you. That's fine. First time right.
Anybody, I see we got Tamara. Tamara,
That's
go
got
ahead.
your eggs. No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Tamara.
I don't know if any of you read the email that Doug and I sent out to you, but there is a group, and I was reminded by the Taco Bell commercial from last meeting. There are 4 groups that use chickens for children's learning. 4-H, they have to have a rooster because they have to have a breeding pair to then hatch chicks. And it's a program where they have to take care of them, they have to keep expenses, etc. FFA, there is an FFA chapter, if I remember correctly, at our high school. Guess what? If they live in the village, just like the rich kids, they have two choices. Rabbits, which I'd hate to see you make illegal next, or chickens. There is a badge for Boy Scouts or chickens. Imagine that. Now, if a Boy Scout is living in the village, that may be the only agricultural badge they can get. And lastly, Girl Scouts have started a chicken program where they hatch and raise and they donate huge amounts of eggs to local pantries. And by the way, just a quick aside, I know that the Petersons, before their flock was decimated, gave tons of eggs to TCRM and the Open Door Mission. And when Doug and I finally have enough laying hens this summer, we will be doing the same. Do you really want to hurt those organizations? Because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be hurting kids, and you're going to be hurting adults that need. Thank you.
Yeah, figure out how to make it work. All right, do we have anybody else for public comment? See, we got like a million people online. Oh, boy. All once, twice. Oh.
Ira Rosa, reported for Main Street. Is the issue the chickens or the responsible ownership of the chickens? Now I live next door to somebody that owns chickens. They've always kept their chicken pen clean, and it's never been an issue. So I almost think it's the ownership of the chickens that's the issue, not the chickens themselves.
We'll do it again. Anybody else public? All right. Move on to the rest of the meeting. We have Becca's not here yet.
Mr. Mayor, is John coming?
Hi, hasn't we seen John Loftus? Does he happen to be online? There's a John. They're melting it's John Loftus. Okay. So no, nobody's seen John. Let's do department heads because Becca's not here for the big boy thing. Fire department.
Rentals for May were 28, 5 mutual aids, 4 to Nichols, 1 to Near Valley. We requested mutual aid from 3 different departments for 1 call out on Glen Mary.
Can you speak a little louder?
Trainings, rural water supply, truck company operations, water rescue with Appalachian. We did an in-house firefighter survival class with the in-house instructor. We did auto stabilization. We participated in the Memorial Day parade. We escorted home our 1866 atmospheric steam fire engine with Owego hose team. After 5 long years, it is finally home. Our department elections for 2026-2027 term, Rusty has the letter. And then we escorted, an escort was provided for OAMS 7th and 8th grade course and bands for taking first place that day to Dorney Park. Rusty has, I put it on your spot.
Put it on my thing here. I'm sorry, I'll find it.
Yeah, we have to set the election results.
I'll find it.
Lost it to the abyss, Eric.
There it is.
Thank you. And we're required by law to approve or reject these elections from the fire department. So that being the case, I move that we accept the elections of the Owego Fire Department of Chief Eric Hawkins, First Assistant Chief Charlie Olmsted, Second Assistant Chief Tom Kelly, Deputy Chief Mike Hopkins, Secretary Kelly Hawkins, and Treasurer Bill O'Connell. I said it fast, but you can get
I'd like to second that.
Any discussion about that? Sure. I don't really.
Absolutely.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You mean this is his last chance
Yes,
to
thank
say
you.
no?
Super round. Absolutely. Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
trustee.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
And yes. Too late now, Kevin.
Thank you.
Going back to what we discussed at the last meeting with our gear, Nate has stated that it's below the state contract, so good to move forward with that. The AFG grant, which is Assistant Firefighter Grant, opened last Tuesday, and today we submitted to purchase this gear. However, it will not be awarded until late fall or early winter, and the need is now. It's 2 weeks to get sized. After that, it's 10 to 12 weeks for delivery. So about the beginning of September is when it's going to be in. I've personally reached out to Adam Weissman with no return call. I reached out to Jeff Grawl and was referred to the Tiger Downs grant program, which last year we tried and we were denied. In June, we have members that are currently in interior firefighter operations. It'll give us 15 interior firefighters, the most in the county. However, they won't be able to put their skills to use due to the gear shortfall. The liability continues to grow and the time to act is now. And I ask the board, please bond for the $111,000 so I can put my guys in the proper gear.
If we bond and we do get a grant, say,
We
late
can pay
fall or
it
anything,
off. That's what we did with the SCBA's.
just want to make sure it would go record or something.
Yes. Yes, I did. Correct. AFG said that they would pay off the.
I think that was, I think we have to be awarded the grant, then go bond, right? Or no? Because it's just more than- I mean, unless the grant says that.
The way we did it with the SCBA's is we bought them. We're actually in service and in use, and then we got the grant, which then paid the bond.
It was a weird grant.
But yeah,
But most grants are not like that.
no, this one's through FEMA and they allow that, thank God.
We just have to make sure the bond can be paid. Normally we'd stretch it for like 5 years, but they just charge a higher rate of interest than you would get otherwise.
Does your company do a lease?
No leasing for gear. It's deteriorates. So they wouldn't get anything good back.
So I can't speak for the board, but I assume that the board is most likely going to take some action on this. They're not going to bond, I assume they're not going to bond for it tonight because we've only got 2 weeks to budget. So we're going to do that inside of the budget. So you guys already are privy to that. So just so you know that's why, one of the reasons why we may not be doing that immediately.
And I've got 5 cents in my budget that I presented.
Perfect. I mean, the good thing is if we do that, it's not, pay the payment for the whole year.
But it puts us into the ball instead of way behind 8 ball like we're at now. So we are way behind. Should have been taken care of 5-10 years ago, but.
Just like we did the SCBA's.
Yep.
Same problem.
Anything else? Thank you.
Do EMS, we're just doing department heads, that one to you, but.
Pretty sure everybody got one, right? Kind of right this time. A couple of keynotes. We're looking to start interviews again for another EMT and potentially 2 or 3 paramedics for per diem hours to fill in some of our spots that we're missing for the schedule. We're still currently up to date to the 2026 regulations, so that's good. May, we had 124 calls. We were able to respond to 109, so that's up from last month. We only missed 15 of the calls this month, which were code 2 and code 3 calls, which was a second or third call at one time. 4 fire calls, 3 mutually given. Strawberry Fest is this month too, so we have a lot of things to do for that. We have Campbell's assisting us as well as Candor. We'll be down with some rigs for Saturday. We had 248 shifts last night, 248 shifts last month. It feels like last night.
Busy night.
41 of those shifts were covered by volunteers, which was up from the previous month. 207 were covered by staff. And this is something to be, I mean, since I've been here, we haven't had 100% shift coverage since I've been here. So this past month we did, which shows in the amount of calls that we were able to make it to. So that was with some of our volunteers stepping up, and we've been paying some overtime, but we've been covering the shift, so that's what's most important. The list of personnel that have been riding is there, which I think is important, just so you guys know who's coming out. Vehicles, I updated the mileage, and I'm working with some vendors, talking with Terry and most of our members. We're going to look to see about downsizing our fleet a little bit. With the fourth truck coming back, we really don't have a place to put it. 1, 2, the oldest truck is a 2010, and it's out of service lately more than it's in service. It's just some minor stuff, but so we're info gathering right now. What it would actually save us insurance-wise and cost to maybe just go down to 3 trucks instead of 4 trucks. So I have some meetings this week about that. We're creating some new SOGs, standard operating guidelines. The last one we put in was the uniform, which has been going good. We're working on a sexual harassment one because that's one of the ones that we're missing from our last inspection. And we're updating our QA/QI, which is a big one right now. There's been a lot of stuff going on at the state level for Department of Health, and QA/QI has been a big hit for multiple agencies. So they're encouraging every agency in the state to update their QA/QI statuses, have an SOG, and look into stuff. And a lot of it's just patient care things. So we're upgrading that with our team. We can try and keep it in-house. Nothing else I don't think has changed. I did talk to County IT about upgrading our system. So that's all working now. I'm meeting with the insurance company this week, again, to talk about our truck coverage and stuff like that. I did want to add in outreach too, because that's something that we haven't done a lot lately, but there's just some stuff that we've been doing. We went out to the Little League fields a bunch of times to hang out and just be available in case something happened, and they ended up needing us for one of the times we were out there, so it was good. Paramedic Rodin's out doing CPR classes. We did one at Tudor time last month. This month she's doing one. She's helping out with some of our friends' people for the pool. So we're gonna try and keep the CPR classes going. We're trying to keep the costs low for people. So the EMS agency's absorbing some of the costs, but we're at least covering our expenses. So that's all I got for right now. Anybody have any questions? Oh, I did have a meeting, which I forgot to put on here. We did the EMS sat with Company 2, where we're in their quarters. I went to their company meeting last week, and we actually had a nice conversation. So we're going to work with them to move some of our stuff out of there, get rid of some stuff that we're not using, just to create a better workspace over there. So we kind of all agreed on what's going to come out of the station and repurpose some other things that we have. So they were thankful that I came over and talked to them. And one of our other members was there, Clayton Chandler, who's also a member of Company 2, but he's also a advanced EMT for us. So he was at the meeting with us, and we kind of just had some discussions, and we're going to move forward with moving some stuff around. So
for your SOGs, so the village has a sexual harassment policy. You can't be using anything other than what the village has. So like if you want it in your SOGs, the reference should be see, sexual harassment policy on file with the clerk's office, or just put a copy of it. That's what we did with ours.
So that's great. And it's so the one that I submitted does not meet the requirements for EMS. So
there's some oddly specific sexual harassment requirements for EMS. Let me know, and then we would need to update the village's sexual harassment policy to include those.
Okay. All right, then I will,
If you're around on Friday.
I'll send you what they sent me.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I sent them what I had, and there was verbiage and stuff that had to be changed for patient-to-patient care and something else in there. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll send it to you. It's just, we had to update it. Well, we also didn't have one for our SOG, so I had to include what you guys had for ours. So that's all.
Lot of stuff real fast, so I just want to make sure, because you might have said I didn't hear. Are the various ambulances all in service? We know that we had one in Jersey. Did you already say that? And I missed it.
Oh, yeah, everything that's here is in service currently. Yeah.
Thank you. The other thing is, we don't know yet, because there's too many variables, but we want you guys to be ready if we have a major event on the 12th of June for Big Blue Lake. So we're gonna need.
Update's coming next.
That's coming next? Okay.
Big boy, that's Steve Trey.
Oh.
That's on the 12th?
That's Friday the 12th.
Friday the 12th.
I'm just saying that.
What time?
I'll
I'll just make sure I'm not in town.
Well,
I'm not here Fridays.
This is okay. It gives me a chuckle that you guys don't know about that yet. It's not that it's a strawberry festival, but we may need to have extra stuff that day.
Well, for us, unless you're expecting 5,000 people.
We are expecting.
Are you really?
We don't know that we're gonna have that.
Then why did we have a thing when we didn't have a instant action plan for that?
We are putting one together.
Holy banana cakes.
They're just driving a train through a parking lot. What's the problem?
Except people from South Carolina are coming to see it. But anyways, I just want you're aware. We don't need to chit chat about that. You're aware they'll be talking with them.
Okay.
Stick around for about 20 minutes.
All right. Anything else? Sorry. Any other questions? Cool. Thanks.
Brett.
You good? Last week, we had one ash burial at Evergreen Cemetery, one full body in the cemetery, extension 16, repair street lights, Temple, Church, Prospect, Erie, and Depot Street. The one big important thing I want to talk about, I thought we were ahead of the game with the pool. We had one pump motor that went down. Yeah, $800. We had one chlorine pump that went down in the baby pool, $350.
Are those to replace or are those repair?
Repair. Well, the chlorine pump in the baby pool is gonna be replaced. Big pool is gonna be a repair. Lackawanna, Page Street, West Ave, we milled out a bunch of bad spots in blacktop and repaved them by hand. And eventually, after the summer slows down, we're gonna do half of Fox Street, mill it out ourselves and work with the town and do half of Fox Street. That's getting pretty bad. The streets that I wanted to get done this year in flats was gonna be over $200,000. We don't know what our CHIPS money is, but since I've been here, we ain't been close to that. So, because of all the prices have gone up, we can only do very little. So, Deer Street, Charlotte, and Adeline, and Delphine are my major streets that need to be done this year. Adeline will be under construction with gas repairs and water repairs. So that's gonna be one of the top streets to be done this year. If we get these pumps back soon, and we get the pool to stabilize, I don't, if you wanted to open it up on the weekends that we talked about.
Yeah.
The last of the lifeguards will have their CPR class Thursday. So, but it's gotta run for about a week and a half to get steady, and then we can always go from there.
Pass our inspection.
That's why it's gotta run for about a week and a half.
Do we want to talk about the Little League mowing contract where you're still getting?
I didn't even know anything about it until today.
Right, so he wants $200 a month more, whatever, and extra stuff he's using over there. So it would be total $1,083 more, which would bring the contract to $6,500.
That's what he's at now, 65, isn't it?
Oh, maybe, I don't remember.
I think it's 65 is what he's at now.
That's what I remember.
He wants $200 a month more than what he gets now.
Set for how many months a year?
April to October,
Right.
if that recalls my memory.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot more than, like, what, it's just mowing, preparing, he's over there a lot.
He's doing more than mowing. We need to amend the contract.
Say-
He's authorized to do
Right.
more than mowing. And then, yeah, it makes sense that he'd want more money. So, I mean, I think maybe Fred and I take a look at what his contract says, and Fred figures out if he's got any more money to pay him, and at your next meeting comes back with a recommendation to you on what to do.
No, he's not doing more than mowing.
I think there's a lot of weed back. He does.
Yeah, a lot of fences over there.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat the streets that you have for priorities for paving in the flats?
Charlotte, Gear, Adeline,
Okay, thanks.
Delphine. I know, that was on the list, but that ain't gonna make it. So the state just passed the budget last week, so I haven't found out yet what our CHIPS money is yet.
Right.
And then we're gonna work with the town, we're gonna mill it out and they'll bring their paver over, do half order of Fox Street, where it was really bad. And, East Main Street by Buffy's section there. Oh, yeah, we're gonna do that with town also. It's not much because the state, we don't wanna get in traffic lights. Good. So Friday then, you want?
Yeah. So we'll put off this Little League mowing contract you guys figured out.
Sure.
He keeps asking me, so that's why I'm asking about it.
Yeah. Sure.
Now let's get back on the big boy.
Just say, police, we have nothing at the moment, other than, of course, the whole stuff, the action plan. That's in the mix.
Okay, can you pull up the map?
Oh, God.
It's Experience Tioga. No, I'm good on that, thank you, yeah.
Does this go to across town?
I don't know. I'm not sure you do. Let me share this for.
You can go down or go to events.
Not many people online.
Oh, I got you.
Well, let's see.
Okay, so right there. Okay, and if you go down a little bit, there's the map. So this is our webpage for all of our big boy information, but really, and it was just to bring up here, our most active information is happening on our Facebook event. So if anybody wants to see that, go to Experience Tioga on Facebook. We have been getting like 1,000 views a day on that, and so we have the map on there. We're posting safety information. The other thing that we're doing on there is we're posting what our local businesses are doing as well. So we are constantly updating this. We have a lot of stuff to add to it from today, but just as a reference, this is where we're gonna have where you can park and what streets are closed and any other relevant information. So this is helpful for people, especially local, like trying to see what's going on. We are going to try and find a way to connect with enthusiasts that are coming from out of town to get this information to them, or at least kind of put it out there, because we're going to, we're told to plan for about 5,000 people. There's no way to know what it's going to be, but that's kind of what we were told. So I don't know if you want to zoom in a little bit.
So, we have more streets that are gonna be closed. We'll mark those.
Who has streets that are gonna be closed?
Well, the police and.
Yeah, well, they haven't
Yeah.
made their plan yet, okay.
We pretty much got it.
There's a
Okay.
plan, it is up to them, but there's been coordination. As soon as we get confirmation,
Figure out exactly what to do where.
what? I mean, you can if you would like.
And DPW, areas, barrels.
Yeah, I think everybody's talked to each other, so, so a couple things to note, we do have handicap parking at the Boys and Girls Club, which is huge, so, that's gonna be first come, first serve, and, we might have some handicap parking over at Riverside, or Riverview at the nursing home as well, so they're gonna have their residents out there, but they also said they would have some space there. So Neighborhood Depot is opening up their restrooms, which is huge. And the Boys and Girls Club is also going to open their restrooms. So, if people ask about it, you can point them there. And then I have talked to all of the businesses along the tracks that have parking lots, especially in this area. So I just need to reconnect with them once the police decide exactly where they're gonna close streets and just make sure that their plans, include, that. We kind of talked about, time-wise, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. being our busy time. We're hearing people are going to be coming in earlier and finding their spots and trying to find places to park. And we did talk about also on the corner of Fox and State having like a drop-off point, so people who might not be able to walk far but want to get to that can get dropped off there. So I'm trying to think of what else because my brain's all over the place. Oh, and we're also trying to identify different viewing areas. To kind of spread people out. We're actually, Waverly is gonna have a great view of the train too, so we're gonna be promoting that to see if local people wanna go to Waverly, get some business to their downtown as well. Our hotels are booking up. The Hampton, I think, is almost full, and our inns in downtown have been booked and have waiting lists for weeks. So this is gonna be a big deal. We have connected with all the businesses. We're encouraging them to do, whatever they want to do. We really want to have a nice warm welcome. I think we're gonna have that. And so I want to thank everybody who's coordinated and everybody who's going a little out of their way for this. Because it's a great opportunity. We all know how many people come here for something else and realize what a great town it is and then come back. So I think everyone's putting their best foot forward, and that's really great. We are going to have a lot of people on Fifth Ave, so we did talk to a lot of businesses are doing things. It's just great viewing. There's parking up there. So I think that the police are gonna have a patrol car there, but I also am coordinating with the sheriffs and the state police as well, to assist, and I have identified Fifth Ave as a spot because the village border is not the whole thing. I think there's going to be a meeting with the town and the sheriffs at some point, so we'll have a little more information. And I'm waiting on confirmation from the state police on extra patrols. But I did ask them to kind of focus on the area between Owego and the Tioga County border, and then Owego and Waverly, because you will also see a lot of people just finding spots along there. There's Ransom Park is gonna be a great place. Any crossing is probably gonna draw about 50 to 100 people. So I think, and people also like to drive along with the train, so that's fun too. So the state police are aware, and Waverly is doing the same thing that you guys are doing in their municipality. So I'm hoping that we kind of covered the whole southern end along the railroad tracks. I think, is it, what else is there? I think that might be it.
We're just pulling together the plan, we're working with the fire, police, police. We're trying to loop into our other fire departments to help us.
Yeah.
Ones that aren't along the tracks that probably have manpower.
A lot of it's gonna be Depot Street, which will be closing off.
And then like.
From what I was told, the train is not stopping at Depot Station. It's gonna be past.
Yeah, so it's going to, the train is actually, like, if you're looking at the turn, the engine is going to be just past it, so you can get a clear view of the engine. And then it's, can't remember how many cars, but it's like 133 feet, so it will be a little bit on the overpass too.
That's all the length of the whole train is gonna be, is 133 feet?
It's like the airport cars.
That doesn't sound right, but I believe you.
I think they.
For half an hour.
Coal car, steam car, water
The
car.
engine is 100.
Actually, it's 4 inches shorter than 100 years.
Oh,
The cars will
okay.
get-
So anyway.
There'll be some cars.
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm
Oh,
glad I
steam,
said that,
water,
because I was like,
cars
oh,
will get-
that's.
There's gonna be cars falling behind the engine.
Yeah.
There's like a passenger car that's been restored, and there's a Lincoln train car that's gonna be there. So it's like a whole historical.
It's like red, white, and blue, and yeah. Okay, so completely incorrect information that I had in my head this entire time. But anyway, so people will be able to get a clear view of the train. The Union Pacific Security, they control that whole area, keeping people away from the train. And the gentleman I spoke to today, it sounds like it's fun. You know, they interact with the public a little bit. The crew is busy doing what the crew's doing. They are not accessible. And so people will be able to get great pictures of the train. And am I forgetting anything? I was like, oh, I have so much to say, but I can't.
We are coordinating with the school as far as all the street closures for buses and that kind of, you know, we're talking, this thing's coming at 11, so right in prime bus time.
Yeah, well, the traffic is gonna be all morning too. So, I think that Rudy was gonna call them, and I think he might also call Weissman's and just give them a heads up and, you know, see if maybe they can, well, just to be prepared, you know, for their own purposes.
Traffic's gonna be crazy. for that.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
As of now, there's a 40% chance of rain.
We're not worried about rain. The
I-
train's still coming.
Like a downpour or just a gentle drizzle? Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is we don't know what's going to happen that day. So I think it's just be prepared and see what happens. But regardless, I think it's gonna be, you know, not like with all the planning and all the safety measures that are being taken, I think it's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a little chaotic for a little while, but it's gonna be really good for our businesses too, which is great. And it's going to just be a sight to see, and I'm really excited about it.
You know, this one's a little tougher because there is no HOM or anything
Right.
behind it, right? It's
Yeah.
just all of us pulling together, so definitely good that we're all working together, figuring this out.
So, I got some email information from Jim Buckley. He is the mayor of Columbus, Nebraska,
Mhm.
and they had theirs last Friday around the same time as we're going to have ours. He said you will have a crowd. He actually is amazed at the number of people who come to see Big Boy. He says the railroad does a great job of keeping people off the tracks, so that is not something you really have to worry about. He said the biggest thing that we have to worry about is accessible parking, which sounds like you're right on that, so that sounds great. And he said definitely close off some sections of town because people aren't going to be able to drive. And it does sound like people do kind of suddenly stop driving and watch. So that was something, I would drive very slow.
So that was the other thing that they said too.
Yeah.
He said people just might stop on North Ave. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, great.
So,
But
yeah.
he really felt like there was no unexpected issues, and he said, you know, within an hour or so afterwards, it clears out. And I've been Google mapping like areas when they have it,
Mhm.
and then like you watch, and then all the red goes away.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a short term.
Yeah, it's definitely short term.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Crazy
think,
time, and then.
yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are, I mean, they're here for a purpose, and when that purpose is over, they're out, you know, but I do think it's encouraging that we do have people staying overnight, and so I have like a final email going out to the businesses just to say, hey, get your stuff to us. And I think Thursday might be a busy day too, because a lot of people are coming in Thursday and staying over for Friday. So I hope it's a couple days of really good sales for everybody downtown, and it's great that it's a week before Strawberry Festival. Yeah, it is a very busy month, yes.
No rain, Charles.
Hey, I'm not worried.
But anyway, so keep an eye on that map. I think we've done a pretty good job of communicating with everybody and letting them know that we're doing this. But obviously we can't reach anybody, so you guys know how to reach me. Feel free to send somebody to me if they have questions. And if you have something to put on the map that you think is relevant, then please, let me know. We're not putting every single business on the map because that would just really get crowded, and we want people to see the logistical information unless a business is offering public parking or bathrooms. Obviously, businesses, the restaurants will have bathrooms. We're not going to be, promoting that unless somebody asks specifically for it. But I think things are in place. So I think it'll be a really great day. Unless it rains.
Can you repeat how you get to that site?
Get to what site?
The site that you had up before.
Oh, it's experiencetioga.com. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
If you, that gets updated a little bit more quickly. So it's just Experience Tioga is our Facebook page. And then we have an event pinned right to the top of it. And if you click on that, all that stuff is there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and just so you guys know, I did tell Rudy this too. If there's any official communications that you want us to post, we're happy to do that on our website and on the Facebook page. Anything we can do to get as much information out as possible. We're also, again, once the village has set their plan and we feel confident in the information we're giving, we're going to do a media push too to try to get this information out, to our local media. And so more people will know that this is a resource and also what's going on.
I would talk with Teresa about posting to the neighborhoods like they're affected as far as the streets.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we really want to get things set to get it in the penny saver. And that deadline is Wednesday morning. So I'm hoping that we can get that to the penny saver by tomorrow night.
That's the plan, aggressive plan.
It's an aggressive plan. We got to move fast.
Is anybody going to be filming this and posting it on your site?
So we do have plans for that. Yeah, but I'm not so a lot of people will be doing that, but yes, we will be probably having multiple videos and people around. Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
An individual can't see all the spectacle.
Right. Yeah, yep. And so yes, we will, and that's where we're gonna put everything is right there. Or our Instagram, if people are on Instagram, that's Experience Tioga as well.
Sebby will be there, he'll have it all covered.
Sebby, I don't even need to do anything. We'll just let Sebby take care of it.
He'll be on top of that.
He will. So, so again, get in touch if anything comes up, if you have any questions. And again, thank you everybody who's coordinating. This is unexpected and a different type of thing, but I think we're gonna put a really good feeling out there, and I think people are really gonna love it. So, thanks.
So, this is the last piece because I didn't want to do it in the middle. How many donuts does Ike have to make
Ike?
at your donuts?
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Next thing under old business is our famous rooster law. This is just for the board. Does anybody want to talk about that? Right.
Yeah.
So they put it together. Everybody's a copy on the board then. Very simple. No roosters.
Just phase out existing roosters. So if then anybody has a rooster, there's a grace period for them to come into compliance with the village code. Yes. To the extent that anyone might have concerns about, a rooster is just a male chicken, right? So when they're really little,
There you go.
pretty hard to know. So we could either add language directly that says roosters under the age of a certain number of months are okay. And then they have to be removed within so many days. I'm not sure when roosters start making noise, which I think is the concern. Practically speaking, and Mr. Weeks, I'm just gonna pick on him, he probably, like, I don't know at what age roosters start crowing.
Depends on the breed.
Depends on the
And
breed.
some roosters don't crow.
And so we only will find out that a rooster is there probably from a complaint about a rooster crowing. Probably. And so I don't anticipate that the village enforcement officer would, nobody's applying to a judge for a search warrant to go into a property to sex chickens. Right? I mean, which is what you'd have to do, which is what we're not gonna do. So this would be basically reactive to complaints about crowing of a rooster, or I guess somebody observing a rooster and knowing that that's a rooster as opposed to something else, and then making a complaint. This would end up being largely complaint.
And I have some videos. Andrew sent me a female chicken acting like a rooster is crowing, laughing. So sometimes you don't know.
Right, and it would be a defense if they're like, well, it's not a rooster, it's just a regular lady chicken.
Angry chicken.
It's just an angry chicken. It's an angry bird. It happens when you have no males.
When they have no males, one of the females will take over that job, take the role.
So those are just things to think about. You don't have to think about it tonight if you don't want to.
It's the worst of that. So if you guys want, we can put a thing on there and schedule a public hearing, but we don't. Either do it or not.
Hands will start flushing the rooster.
You like the extra thing talking about age. Primarily noise complaint.
Well, and really, everyone who's come forward is saying it's
We can't hear you.
I didn't hear Ron, I'm sorry.
The public would like you guys to speak up so they can hear.
That's right, Laura's pretty headed in no way.
Ron said that he liked the potential age language. Terry mentioned that the complaints about roosters have been noise.
That's true.
So I mean, I think this would resolve the majority of the complaints.
So we're ready to jail people for having roosters.
No, it's not public comment.
That's not your business.
I can't talk.
Anybody else have any discussion about the proposed issue on the board?
I'd like to see that before we let it in before we even have a public hearing. Ready to put it in and then schedule the public hearing.
Well, I'd like to, if the board would like to see language added in about accepting out from the no roosters ban, roosters under the age of I'm gonna say 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to do maybe a little looking into like when do roosters typically begin to grow to get a a general sense of like what a reasonable period of time would be. I don't, just not familiar enough with roosters myself.
How does this get resolved? In the end, is it just you guys vote?
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, at the next meeting, I could come in with a proposal, as to say, okay, here's what we looked at.
Okay, okay, so we're not setting a public hearing, we're just gonna wait till the next meeting. What's that revised draft?
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
I think that's a fine idea, because as always, we need to do the research that we need to do, but we need to do it. I'm saying we need to do that research here in the next couple of weeks to decide.
Yeah, I mean, if this is only Ron speaking. If the rest of you are like, nah, we don't care, just no roosters at all, then you can move forward under the draft as it is. But I heard two of you say, let's look at this updated language.
Does everybody agree with that?
I'm not in favor of the ban. I want us to stay out, kind of fascist. Looking at people's backyards and what they can provide for their family and yeah. Yeah.
Checking.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments from the board? So, we have another scheduling of a public hearing for so we're gonna do on June 22nd, which is a special meeting, we're doing the budget hearing, the agricultural overlay, and then the one we forgot, applying the agricultural overlay to the fair property.
Okay. It just wasn't very prepared at the last meeting, so it's prepared now and it should be. It's very straightforward.
If you want to add that on to the list of public hearings of that night.
I was under the impression you told us we can't do the placing of the overlay until we do the making of the agricultural district. So we can't.
Yeah, you can do them on the same night. You just adopt the ag overlay first.
Well, but then we have to do the public hearing for 2 weeks later for the.
No, you can schedule the public hearing, I think, to.
Even though we have
or
a
not
law
rezone,
passed.
but to lay on this property the overlay. Yes, because we've got.
Okay.
A little draft local law scheduled a public hearing to do the overlay. I mean, obviously, the second, the application of the overlay is contingent on you folks actually adopting the overlay, but you can do both at the same time, or in the same meeting.
What, I don't know if this is allowed now, but can you explain this agricultural overlay thing?
It's yeah, I may have explained it, it's better at it.
So, first, I'm only engaged in a back and forth because the mayor said I can. So normally the public should not be interjecting in the board's discussion. So the ag overlay is a new zoning regulations that would allow a property to be overlaid with an agricultural focused district. The normal zoning would still apply. The overlay would expand the allowed uses on that property to the listed uses. A copy of the ag overlay proposed regulations are available in the clerk's office. To be clear, this overlay will only apply where the village board says the overlay goes. It's not changing any zoning regulations anywhere else in the village unless and until the overlay is laid over.
It's mostly for the fair board property to allow like farmers markets and things like that. Right now it's so residential.
Yeah, I've heard.
So, would we like to schedule that public hearing at the same?
I have to tell you something. Before we do the local law for where we're gonna put the overlay. I was hoping that the Johnsons would be here tonight, and they're not. I would like to know from them and the Fair Board if they would like us to overlay 12807,
Is that their neighbor?
the property that they own, that's the business. I would like to know if they would like the overlay on their business property to give them some more agricultural options that business might not give them.
Whatever these meetings, I don't know, the last one or 2 meetings ago, they expressed concern about, do you remember they said they were concerned about the maximum lot coverage? Right. And basically it was like, well, as soon as if they combine the lots, then it's not an issue, so they didn't indicate any interest, at least at the time, in putting the overlay on that property. I think, if I remember right, arguably a lot of the things in the business district, actually the ag overlay that they'd like to do are allowed in the business already.
I'm just saying, I would like to know from them if that would be if that would be a potential help to have some ag things that you maybe couldn't have in a business, that they could have on that piece also.
So how are you gonna open decide which rules apply where?
So, ma'am, this is not a back and forth between the public and the board. The board's trying to have a discussion about the agenda items that they have. I understand you have lots of questions, lots of people often do. You need to wait until the public comment period at the end of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
You can ask questions
Yeah.
at that time, whether the board chooses to answer you or not, it's gonna be up to the board.
So I'm not doing this to delay this, I'm doing this for the Johnsons, for the Agricultural Society, that if that would be helpful, we would consider doing it to both of those pieces of property. I don't see a problem doing it to that extra piece of property.
What's the worst case scenario? You want to just schedule a public hearing that night for the other piece of property.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I
We
would.
can't put it up, then we just,
I mean, I
we
just
have to.
don't want to hinder them any longer than we already have.
Especially for, I mean, we know they want this one.
Right.
This meeting is over.
No, there's one at the end.
No,
There's
no,
one at the end.
I was trying to figure out how to do both. And if we want to do both, we could do that right
It's
now.
on the back.
Put it together.
One of these, ultimately, there's probably that you have to ask them if they have a business to do it, and let them do it, right?
No, we don't have to ask us what, we can just do it. So would one way to do this, maybe take care of all these things, would be to make the public hearings for the overlay for both properties, and if it and between then and now, they don't want it the other one, we don't have to do the other one. Would that be a good way to do it?
I think you should-
That's a bad way to do it.
That's a bad way to do it. The applicant, I mean, they haven't asked us to do it. I mean, unless you want to do it, but like, the other issue would be, there's a few issues. One, the local law that's drafted doesn't rezone, there's an overlay on that parcel. Two, we referred to the county for 239 review of just the one parcel, not a second.
We have done that.
We've done that.
Okay, then forget that what I said, that would be a separate condition would be 239, okay.
We can always apply it later to the other one.
Thanks for the legal.
So anybody like to schedule that public hearing for June 22nd?
Move to schedule a public hearing for June 22nd. We already have, I'm stopping in the middle of motion, go back to it. We already have the one for the agricultural, this is to overlay that 12807-2-14. Okay.
Second.
That's a motion.
Okay. Any other discussion about that? Any other discussion about that? That's just to schedule a public hearing on that one property. Fran?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes. Yes.
Trustee?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes. Yes.
Do we have another public hearing that day?
We have two more. The budget and the. If we get the budget done, but.
So what time, does it matter which time we put them in?
That's why this one's at 7:20. One's at 7, one's at 7:10, this one's at 7:20.
Thank you. I don't,
Sorry,
that was what the motion was.
Motion, it's already in there.
Okay. Wow.
Fred left, but we have discussion on maple trees on the Riverwalk. I didn't put this on here, I assume he did.
I put that on there, actually.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
We had a resident who was trying to move some of the trees the other night, and I asked them to stop. They didn't have the right foot gear or protective, like, hand stuff, and I didn't want this person getting injured. So, I mean, I know it's been kind of an issue just because we're not really sure who should be cutting those down, but when they get cut down and left there, it's kind of a problem, and we really don't want residents getting hurt on the rocks. And this is on the Riverwalk, but on the riverside, so it's on the rock side that this person was out on the rocks, trying to drag some of these trees up to the curb.
Are these the ones that got cut down, not by us?
That is correct.
Somebody just decided they were gonna cut down.
Yes. So I think we need to kind of discuss, do we want DPW to come and move them because whoever cut them down hasn't moved them at this point? They are rather unsightly, and I didn't want a resident getting injured moving them themselves because I felt like that was kind of a liability. They were out physically on the rocks pulling some of this stuff up. And I was like, oh, please don't do that. And they weren't happy with me because they were saying it looked so bad, which I agree. But I said, yeah, but we really kind of need to stick with the process. So I asked him if she could on the agenda.
So I quick, couple, 2 or 3 questions, don't want a whole lot of things. Are the trees they're cutting down on the Riverwalk to the River Row side? Are they on the Riverwalk to the water side? Where are they?
They are on the Riverwalk. They are on the water side.
That's where they're being cut down, not where they're being put.
There were at least 2 decent maples that were cut down, and they were also laid there.
Okay, so that, I got it, just cut, where they're cutting them down, where they're like, and how much of that property do the River Row owners own and how much do they not? Or what things do we have there with the right of way where we put the Riverwalk and the sewer? Who owns what?
Yeah, so if we only have the right of way, an easement, then the property, like, we don't own the trees, and people are free to cut them down. They're, like, that's.
If they own from River Row all the way to the water.
They own all
there's
the way to the water, then their trees, not our trees. So we would have any rights to even remove the trees, because they're not our trees.
Okay, well, do they need to clean them up?
No, I mean, it's just like their property, and at least, I shouldn't say no so requestingly. But people can cut trees down on their own property and have a log on their property, unless it's interfering with the easement rights that we have, then it's just a cut down tree. I mean, but we have to review the easements or whatever we have.
Or the deeds,
Or the deeds to figure out who owns all the way to the
I mean, it is probably a DEC issue if the
It might
water
be.
comes up,
Yeah.
you know, they don't really want trees getting thrown into the river.
Away.
And then
Jam them somewhere.
that should be referred to the DEC to review it. But it's, I mean, so it's actually theft. If anybody goes onto somebody's property, cuts a tree down and takes it, they're responsible for, I think it's treble damages for the value of the tree. So like whoever ordered these trees to get chopped down, it's their tree if they own the property. If they don't own the property and we own the property, then it's a criminal violation and we should ask the police to investigate.
Quick tie-up. Problem noted. We do the research, we find out who owns what the thing is.
Stuff I want to figure out who owns the trees.
Okay. And we should just leave them there at this point?
Unless they're posing some
Unless they're on the
immediate
Riverwalk.
health safety issue to anybody. then-
Well, I mean, they're out of the way. I just didn't want to see this particular person get injured. And I felt like it was like kind of dicey on the rocks there.
Yeah, probably is.
Right.
That probably is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Next thing we have is a parade permit for St. Pat's Church. This is just an OPD escort, we need this every year.
It's pretty short.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, that's for the St. Pat's Church?
Yep.
So in the past, they've done this walk and they've walked on the sidewalk both directions. Do they want to be in the street one or both directions on this?
It says they wanna walk west on Front Street to Courthouse Square, and they will return on sidewalk.
So it doesn't say exactly where they want to walk down.
On the street, it says OPD escort.
They want a traffic
See the
escort
permit
from the church to the
request here.
Courthouse Square, and then they would return on the sidewalk afterwards. That's how it's worded.
So we don't want to walk on the street there.
Do we have to ask the state?
Probably good. I mean, probably, I would assume they need to coordinate with DOT, 'cause it's shutting down the state road.
I always ask when we're doing it. It also seems like several years ago, they walked, maybe it's not the same walk, they walked down Main Street and back. Does that sound familiar from one of those walks? I'm not remembering either, but of course, if they walk down Main Street to north, we can just do that. That's our street.
Right, that's a village.
I don't know what they do when they get to Courthouse Square.
Yeah, so why are they going on Front Street?
I'm just saying one of the things that could be done is they can walk down, if they want to be in the street, and we want to have them in the street, they can walk down the street to there, get on the sidewalk, walk in front of the jail, walk over to the courthouse, and not have to close down Front Street, but nobody's here to tell us what their intentions or plan is. When is it?
June 7th.
That's
A couple of days. Okay.
I mean, if the concern is about coordination with the state, you could approve it contingent on them receiving all state approvals necessary for them to do this. True. Because if they're not,
We don't get to decide that.
yeah, I mean, people are allowed to use the sidewalks, so if they're not shutting down the road.
Yeah, it just says they will return on the sidewalk.
But they would have to figure out if it's legal to go in the middle of the street on the way there. Right, them and OPD and OPD.
So, these escort OPDs are weird this.
Right. Yeah, they must have it on the calendar.
I would hope so. I mean, we just heard about it.
It's like Saturday.
The form that was submitted doesn't indicate from Joe whether he approves or disapproves of it.
Submitted on the 19th.
I don't know why I'm thinking
Sunday.
that we approve it first and then it goes to Joe. I don't know that it goes to Joe first. I don't remember how that works.
I don't know, it usually goes to Joe.
Space on it for both of us.
Yeah.
Or-
Oh, she has to approve it sometime. Okay, I've asked my questions and now what are we gonna do?
We can approve it contingent on state approval of specific.
Well, state's approval of the road or use of the road, and then also just make a contingent on the police chief approving it. Doesn't look like he's reviewed it, so he should weigh in. If he says no.
We're just say OPD escort, so that means we're gonna need somebody on Sunday.
It was Sunday?
It's Sunday. Like this.
That's good, that's a slow day, so that's a good thing.
We reached out to the state, I haven't copied and get permission, everything within 6 days.
Rather not. They can always do it on the sidewalk too. If they don't get the. They need.
Approve this with the contingencies.
Sure.
Approve this with the contingencies.
Wait a second. Any other discussion about it? Brandon,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Rusty.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see, next thing is discussion on parking penalties. We put together a different scheme for the way parking tickets are handled.
So, everybody should have had this in their box. I didn't get a lot of notice about this. Mike, if I could have. Yeah. We've been talking about this forever, ever and ever. The police are about to order 10,000 new tickets. Their old tickets say things on them that are wrong and inappropriate. We've talked about parking fees. Ours are $10. I did twice. I did a long time ago, and I did just somewhat recently. the research to find out what everybody else gets for a parking ticket. We just got one for $50. Rodney. Rodney got one for $50. They're $50 almost everywhere. Waverly, Horseheads, the places I called, I didn't call necessarily all the big cities, but Binghamton, Endicott, Johnson City, they're almost all $50. That's what it is. Ours are, I don't know how familiar you are with it. Ours are $10 if you pay it within 3 days. If you don't, it's $20 if you pay it within X number of days, 10 days, 15 days. It becomes $50. If you don't pay that within 30 days, it becomes $100. I've spoken with Nate about this. He's helped put this together. It seemed problematic. First, I don't know that we want it to be $100 anyways, but it seemed problematic to do that with the way the speedy trial and court and things work. So there were 3 paragraphs in the code, if you want to look at them, that take care of tickets. And we're going to eliminate all 3 of those paragraphs if this proposition is what we want to do. And instead, all parking tickets in violation of section 18730, which is the timed parking. So that's the 3 hours, the 2 until 5 in the morning, anything that's timed, which is basically overtime parking. The penalty will be $50. If you pay it within 5 days, you will get a reduced penalty. It'll be $25 instead of $50. We're not going to say it starts at 25 and it goes up. We're going to say it's 50. Pay this right away. Don't fool around. And we'll do it for 25. Otherwise, it's 50.
And that's because of the speedy trial stuff.
Yep. So that's the purpose for that. There are other parking violations that are not timed, and there's a whole chapter full of them, pages and pages. That's called Article V or 5. They will have a penalty of $50. That's parking where you're not supposed to, blocking somebody, parking in an intersection, blah, 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 parking in the street. Those will not have a $25 grace. That's a $50 ticket. That's what it is. So that's the second paragraph that would be changed. And the last paragraph had, if you get a parking ticket, the first one you get is free. You don't have to pay anything. That's problematic if we're trying to enforce anything on Strawberry Festival or Big Boy, or where people are breaking the rules everywhere. They're just gone. We probably won't get it anyways, but there's a box on there that it's also vague on the parking ticket that says, oh, this is my first ticket, I don't have to pay it, something like that. So we want to get rid of that off the ticket, and we want to get rid of that concept. And our gang is already pretty good at warning people when they need to, and this and that. So that would be the 3 changes. No more free ticket, 50 down to 25 for a standard parking, and 50 for all the other parkings. That's the plan. We've talked about it casually for a long time.
So this would have to be another local law passed, so if we wanted to do this, Nate's prepare it as a draft. We could schedule a public hearing for it, or think about it, talk about it, and
Anybody got I mean, we'll listen to the public and see what they have to say and stuff. Does anybody have a reservation to start this process?
talk about it for one time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time. $10 is pretty tiny, and for the amount of time it takes our people to do this, that doesn't.
$100 worth of paperwork.
Right.
We're not trying to make a bunch of money. We're trying to get people we're trying to move the parking along on Lake Street and Front Street, and so they don't park all day, and so they don't. That's the plan. Move that we set a public hearing for whatever number of local law this is. Shall we do it the same night? Fine with me. Aside from that, we should have done it 2 months ago before the Strawberry Festival.
Because we can't do it the next meeting.
Yeah, it's not gonna make it into the.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Ann's here and said you gotta give it to me. If you give it to me tonight, I'll get it in the courier. I'm not saying we have to do it, I'm just saying we can. When do you want to do it?
Would it be published on Wednesday?
If we give you this local law for parking, can that go into the courier tomorrow and be published on Wednesday?
If you get it in there in the morning, we go to press in the afternoon, so you got to get it in there.
We'll put it together. Okay.
When you got the law.
I got the law, I was to the notice.
So we can schedule it for the 15th.
Want to try or not? Let's do it. I move that we schedule a public hearing for, those other public hearings were the 15th, right? I don't know why.
No,
they
they're
were
the
the
22nd.
Do we have a meeting on the 22nd? It's a special.
Do now.
All right. Okay. For the 5th, that's good then. They're not all the same night. I move we schedule a public hearing for the 15th of June, 7 o'clock for local law number amending vehicle traffic penalties for parking violations.
I'll second that.
You guys are, that was close.
I'm a business owner, it drives me nuts when people park all night.
Okay. Discussion about making a public hearing. Brian,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Rusty.
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
and yes. Okay, so we'll post that up on the website for everybody to see and get in the paper.
So it's up to you. Are you going to get to the courier with that or how's that going
I'll
to
shoot over to Nikki and Ken and Rod.
So we're going to do this by tomorrow earlier and you'll get a hold of that.
Get it there before noon if you can.
So somebody's got to get it over there. You're not going to get a hold of us to get it. You want somebody to get it to you? Okay.
They can email it over.
I don't know how that stuff works. Okay.
All right, next thing is the Evergreen Cemetery DEC grant. So this came back and we got, this is the $50,000 grant for a study. We did get the grant, but there's a 10% match. So question is, do we do it or do we not do it? I have
I
it on
was
my desk.
under the impression that Tioga County Soil and Water was going to pay that match.
Great. I don't know.
It was Southern Tier 8
Right.
that said that they were going to pay the, support us.
Okay. So can we get some kind of confirmation on that before we sign the agreement?
Yeah.
Is that definitive or is it, we just think they're going to pay it? How are we on that?
Because
Because we thought a lot of things in the past that didn't be.
It's only $5,000, but it's still $5,000.
Southern Tier 8 offered to support us for that grant.
Somebody,
I'll ask Ashley.
what's that?
I think we need a written commitment.
Something, yeah. Because, I mean, the liability should be on us, so it's on us to make sure.
I can reach out to Ashley.
Okay.
Okay.
But if that's all true, then we did get the grant. So. Information on Christmas in July. I don't know anything about that.
Anybody know anything about that?
That's me. It's just a downtown event. I was hoping to shut down Lake Street for the day and bring in all the any other Tioga County business to do kind of like a little trade show type of thing. Give them some exposure and just make it into a Christmas wonderland.
Have you, this is through HOM, right?
Yes.
Have you gotten with the police to figure out?
That's why if we can do it, that's great. If we can't close Lake Street, then we'll keep it just to the local downtown businesses. We didn't want to get into getting other things involved until I knew if we could shut it down or not.
So the Merchants Association is doing this?
Yeah. But Becca committed to, if we could include all of Tioga County, then they'll donate the shopping bags, canvas shopping bags, if they, I love New York and shopping Tioga. And it would help with all the promoting, kind of like the Eat Local event.
It sounds like a fun idea, and we're sticking it up. Only question is closing Lake Street, like, yeah.
There's
Do you
literally
have any hours you want?
nothing. It's a Saturday, the 25th
Saturday.
of July. There's nothing going on locally downtown for HMO at all, from Strawberry Festival, I think September.
Right.
So I thought it'd be nice to have something to grab towards.
Try to follow this way.
Not post office would still be open. But we can't post office now.
Yeah, that's always a challenge.
You need a hand?
They can get you out that. Yeah, I think.
Thanks, thank you, appreciate that.
Other than,
August.
right, when are they doing their construction thing? August, right?
Middle of August.
Yeah.
That's when they're discussing.
After the fair, right? I believe so.
Post office construction is
Is it after
August
the
to
strawberry?
October.
But they did say August. So you may have just missed that.
And we don't have any plans right this moment, but I don't know if plans will develop about something for 4th of July. 4th of July was canceled.
Or the 250 thing was canceled. The fireworks for the 250.
I haven't heard one way or the other.
Well, that was just somebody wanting the fireworks. That doesn't mean that there's not gonna be something for,
I heard it was canceled.
for us. But I'm just saying.
Fireworks are canceled?
All of it was canceled, yes. Because the permit was needed. They
By the
denied the
state.
permit, right,
Right, the state didn't, like,
for the,
his idea for the fireworks, they were not
They
signing.
wanted to put them on a truck and do them off the bridge.
Yeah, and the state DOT said, no way.
so HMO said it was canceled.
That particular thought of that, but that doesn't mean we or somebody else won't put something together for 250. I know that,
Sure.
yeah, I know.
Well,
time's
I
ticking.
know, but that's why I thought I would even ask John if he wanted to do his fireworks for this event. If he wanted to wait. Not off the bridge, but.
Yeah, not on the bridge.
Day after my anniversary, so thank you for the gift.
Well, I think it sounds like a lovely middle of summer.
Yeah.
When we don't have as much going on.
I don't know how I feel about getting all my Christmas stuff out.
Right?
You be the Grinch.
There you go.
That's hurtful, mate.
Put on a Hawaiian shirt
Could be.
and a hat.
Yeah.
A Santa hat, a Hawaiian shirt, that's all you need.
That's true, that is Christmas in July.
And I look like Rusty.
Oh.
Santa hat, Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So like, we don't have anything to prove, this is just information that we're trying to cook this thing up, right?
Yeah, just need to know
Do we even
if we
analyze
go
the
big
idea?
or
Right.
small.
Right.
I mean, I think if you're going big, then you'll just need to do permit with the police to close down the street. I mean, I don't.
Right.
Yeah. It'll be a parade permit that would come back here, probably next meeting.
We're only shutting down Lake Street. There's a lot of county stores. I mean, you're never gonna get them all in Lake.
Well, Becca wasn't even sure if many would have participated. Hopefully they would.
I
It'd be
know
great
it's
exposure for them.
Only the one side, because we still have to allow access for EMS and
Right.
the street.
Post
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I was gonna say the same thing about this, and you're involved, that will help make this be clear, but I'm always wanting to know that the merchants have all been talked to, and if they're all on board, or almost all, or whatever is on board with closing the street down, and, because some folks, that doesn't help their business, and some folks it does, so I'm always curious about that. But there's a little piece here, it doesn't matter, it's just on the presentation, it says, Lake Street will come alive with, hyphen on the second page, Tyler County businesses outside of the village preferred. What does that mean?
Like, we're not on Lake Street.
Yeah.
We could do a booth on Lake Street, but because we're so close, I want people more on the outskirts.
Trying to bring attention to.
Okay.
If they're.
Okay, no, I just was reading the sentence, it means,
Even if you're downtown, you still can if you're not on Lake Street.
okay. And so, it says outside of the village preferred, it just means we'd like it to be
Right.
for more places, not
Right.
exactly.
Tioga County,
I was just confused with it.
North
with that.
Valley, Waverly.
It's Nurk Valley, thank you.
What?
It's Nurk Valley,
I heard that before.
because you weren't raised there.
Okay,
Very cool. Let's see. Next thing we got, payment of bills.
Standard stuff might meet your approval?
I did have one question.
Okay, perfect.
Who owns the steamer house?
We have an agreement with hosting.
The host team owns this steamer house.
Who is responsible for it is my question, because I saw the electric bill on our bill. It was only $90, but it's not our building, we should not be paying this bill.
Right, they're building on our land.
Right, they have like a 100-year
Yeah.
lease or something, right?
I don't have the
They're not the
agreement.
fire department.
25-year.
I would think.
It's the host team,
I would
not
think
fire
hosting number
department.
5 would have to pay the electric bill. I don't see how the taxpayer should be responsible for that. I mean, I know it's only $90, but it's $90.
I don't have the contract in front of me, but I remember when we were discussing it way back when, there was discussion about whether or not the village would be willing to be responsible for one of the pieces of utilities, and I don't remember what we put in the contract, and one was potentially the gas for the eternal flame, which we are not doing, because that was dangerous and not a good idea. And I don't remember that we said we would take care of the electricity for that, but I don't
I mean, I'd like to.
We'll find out.
Find out before we pay it. I mean,
I think we
just
made it
curious.
in the contract just because it has to come from our electric station too. I don't remember.
Gotta look at the agreement, which I've got open.
Oh, yeah, that's why we got the lawyer.
I mean, you guys can have the electronic files too.
What would we pay you for?
Let me look through my file cabinet. All right.
Actually, this is just the hose team and the fire department nonprofit agreement.
That shouldn't be
it's
about
not-
that.
So there must be another agreement with the
Yeah.
village on.
Yeah.
That's right. Not looking at the right one.
How much is the bill?
It's like $90, $91 or something.
So, do you want to just pay it with this thing, find out what the deal is gonna be, and, if we're on the night for it, we'll be paying it, if we're not, we won't pay anymore, or do you wanna leave that out, or we wanna just?
I mean, I would assume that we pay it, it's our property, I'd like to pay it, but with the expectation of finding out who's actually responsible for it.
Let's do that, let's put that in the payment bills, let's pay it, and then we'll research and find out for the next one.
If it's a $9,000 bill, it'd be a different discussion.
You betcha.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Prices of phone could be $100 a month,
So we need Rod to just pull it. But the
$1,200 a
updated
year.
version I'm looking at actually has the correct party being the village and puts responsibility for steamer house utilities on the village. That would include electric, be part of the overall Owego Fire Department budget. So we just need to confirm on the final version of this thing.
Are we responsible for any maintenance and stuff as well?
No.
We need to look at that agreement. This one's, whatever the final sign is, this version says the host team owns the building and maintains care and control of the premises. So they'd be responsible for maintenance of the building. At least again, this is the draft, I want the signed version. But we definitely gave thought to this stuff. So we just gotta pull the actual agreement.
We believe they're responsible for the property also, that we own, but. Okay,
Just let's get the agreement from Ron.
It does say the village shall be responsible for the steamer house electric utility bills.
So you found it online.
I put it in my emails.
Your email, well,
Let's
he's got the
just,
contract.
let's just make sure we have the signed version that we're looking at, because there were clearly multiple drafts going around.
Yeah, there was, I remember the.
Because this was a backup.
Is there another question about the paying of the bills?
I didn't see anything else.
Yeah, they did.
Move to pay the bills.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion of the bills? Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kathy? Trustee?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And yes. Okay. Down to the minutes.
I motion we approve the minutes of the May 18th as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion about the minutes? Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Trustee?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Next, trustee reports. Melissa. All right. Going through it. I'm just looking at all this. We'll just go around and get the rusty.
As usual, no report because I do the business in the meeting.
Laura.
I do have a report.
That'll be about business.
So coordination and communication related to the village's flood risk reduction through FEMA CRS grant. so this grant, we're using it to work through floodplain management and compliance-related activities. And it's really important that us as board members understand and that we're informed about what issues are being addressed. And I still have not received all the records related to the grant that I requested back in March. And I'm preparing a letter for the board describing what I consider waste and abuse occurring related to the grant. Our board is responsible for reviewing invoices before payment, determining whether consultant work aligns with the contract scope, ensuring staff and officials are informed, correcting administrative deficiencies, and ensuring grant goals are met locally. And I have concerns regarding technical inaccuracies in the work product, the lack of meaningful progress towards CRS goals, inadequate consultant expertise, poor communication and exclusion from meetings, invoice review concerns, failure to properly track floodplain development, failure to properly collect permit fees, and failure to identify compliance deficiencies. I've made work plan and budget suggestions in the past, and the two biggest that I'd like to just repeat are that we be including the floodplain administrator, the code enforcement officer, and DPW administrative assistants when we're having our grant meetings or any meetings and communications about the grant, that these members should be included and aware of it. And currently they're not invited to the meetings. And that the other main thing is that we should, the consultants and our office, that we develop processes and procedures for identifying flood zones of properties, identifying activities that are considered development, especially in the special flood hazard areas, elevation certificates, providing map information, hazard disclosure, flood protection information, flood protection assistance, and flood insurance promotion. And it's really important that we serve our residents and their properties by making sure that we're enforcing the laws that protect our properties and making sure that our officials are doing good work.
Laura? And who's responsible for enforcing this?
So our board provides oversight, and we have, in our contract, there are specific things that we're supposed to review the invoices, we're supposed to review the work that's being done, and we have oversight of the.
You were saying these permits, who's responsible to make sure those are done?
Our code enforcement office is supposed to be doing permits. Okay, so next topic, the CEC solar. We have a Clean Energy Communities grant that's fully paying for a solar array on the roof of this building. The grant comes from NYSERDA, which is the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. It's fully paid for our project. So the system cost is $520,000, and we will receive behind the meter energy production to offset the annual usage of this all-electric building, and we'll have greatly reduced energy electric costs for like 3 generations. It'll save our residents a lot of money off of the NYSERDA bills. And it's just a really cool thing that we got the money by doing the fleet inventory, the building energy monitoring, and then so we were able to get the.
Do you have an update on this? Like, we already know all this information.
So we are awaiting our NICEAG interconnection approval and the New York Sun application to be an in-process status, and then that will complete our 1.0 planning phase section. So it's just a wait of time that gets done.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Okay.
So if that completes the 1.0 planning phase section, how much of the payback do we get then?
It's just the planning phase of the contracts.
I don't know.
So there's nothing.
There's no payback.
Haven't completed the contract yet.
We'll get, at the completion of this, we're gonna get 25% of the cost of the solar system. And then, once that's done, we'll also be able to get the phase 2 reimbursements for the car, the landscaping equipment, and the phase 2 charge.
And that's just the thing that you just said a minute ago, okay. I just want,
Yeah.
we keep not understanding when we're getting what money, that's why I'm trying to clarify that. Okay.
Yeah, so the money will roll in once we've completed the phase 1 deliverables. Then we'll receive the phase 2 repayments for everything else. Phase 1 money, solar. And then the last thing I'm gonna report is again that we ordered FEMA NFIP documents in January, and we still haven't received them.
All right.
I've been doing some union negotiating stuff, trying to get that squared away. I will be attending a training at the Boys and Girls Club on June 24th for sexual grooming and predator awareness. I just think it's a good idea, especially being a previous teacher, to know what you're looking for. I mean, even business owners, residents, and just to know how to protect our children, because they're very vulnerable. And that is the 24th. And they're looking to do one for the general public after that. So this is for like teachers, police, business owners, anybody that's in direct interaction with children. Just make people aware that it's out there.
That's for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
You're good?
I'm good.
Fran?
Okay, the Village of Owego historian, Alicia Maslow, penned an article about the Village of Owego in the last 50 years for the Tioga County booklet. Okay, this was organized through Emma Seedor, who's the Tioga County historian, so just wanted to make sure that Elise gets recognition on that. I'll hand this over to you when I'm finished, Ron. We want to say a special thank you to the Cook's Free Services. They were contacted by our Evergreen Cemetery, and through the supervision of Fred, this company removed a dead tree that was on the walking trail up in Evergreen, and they did that at no charge to the village. So, yeah. And also, we owe a thank you to WW Landscaping. They made a gift this year and last year of annual flowers at the Evergreen Chapel. Pass it on to
Anything else? You're good?
Yep.
Terry?
We have an OHPC meeting this Thursday. We have a bunch of applications. And we had a meeting with Fred, James Peckham, and Sam Kastner, who's our artist, the other day. It went very well. Fred and Sam were able to get into some of the cleanup that needs of the site by DPW before the eventual placement. And James is working on some of the payment schedule with Sam. And if you go to Iron Vine Studios, they will be doing some little videos as they start to cut our steel within the next few weeks. So that's
great.
yeah, that's going to be really cool. So, it was a very good meeting and everyone seemed pretty happy and things are going forward.
Yeah, so search Iron Vines on.
Iron Vine
Facebook.
Studios, Facebook or Instagram. Yeah.
I went to the Zoning Board of Appeals on May 28th. The Applied Technology Manufacturing Corporation's pole barn construction. It was the public hearing, and all the 4 variances were approved. The setback, the lot coverage, parking, and off-street loading, with the condition that the building will only be used for warehouse and storage and does not allow for retail or commerce use.
How about manufacturing? No manufacturing,
They didn't put any of that in.
Okay.
And now they just need the floodplain variance?
They need a floodplain variance, and then for wet flood proofing, which also requires a state building codes variance. And then they need site plan approval as well. So they should be applying for the floodplain variance next, I would think.
All right. Down to me. So we did get a letter about Flag Day from the Elks. So that's going to be on June 14th at 1 o'clock. Anybody wants to go? It's always a good ceremony.
They said Friday, June 14th.
They did.
Yeah, it meant Sunday. If it's the 14th, they meant Sunday.
I don't know.
They either mean the 12th or they mean the Sunday.
Right.
Sunday, it might be Big Boy Day.
Hopefully they don't mean 12th. That's Big Boy Day.
No.
Yeah.
What is Flag Day?
The Flag Day is the 14th.
I guess maybe we should ask them.
But I will say that Elks has, in the last number of years, not had it on Flag Day, they've had it on a convenient day. So that was unclear about what they want to do.
Usually Friday.
I'm saying, yeah, they had a different day.
Okay.
Other than that, I've been working on the Big Boy a lot. It's like consumed my life. That's right. All right. Rod and I were thinking about scheduling a meeting next Monday to start the budget process. We're gonna have to have.
We kind of got it.
Yep.
A couple of departments,
We'll see which couple,
whatever ones
2 or
are
3.
ready.
When they're ready, we'll get them and we'll do that. We might have to have a meeting in the middle of the week to finish up everybody.
Mike, what time do you want to have it? 7?
Yeah, I think we'll 7.
Well, we have a meeting on Monday, the 8th of June, 7 o'clock.
Second.
Special meeting budget.
Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yep.
Yes.
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 My last thing is we did the public hearing for the override of the tax cap, but we didn't do it.
Mike, I didn't hear you.
We did the public hearing for the tax cap, but we didn't do anything with it.
Oh, that's right.
You can keep the public, well, you close the public hearing, right? You could adopt it, you don't have to adopt it tonight, you could adopt it at any one of your subsequent meetings and then file it. So if you, at least if you wait for your first budget meeting, that you think you're gonna end up under, then you don't need it, you don't take action.
The only reason you have a 2% tax cap override is if by some problem you have, that you go over and you don't pass this, then you get fined.
Well, you don't get fines, so what happens is any monies in excess of the tax cap have to get held in reserve to apply to the subsequent fiscal year. The issue is if you go over it and you need that money to operate, which you're in trouble. Yeah, so I mean, it's not a bad idea to just get it done, so you've got that, but if you wanted to take action at the next meeting.
We've done it for the last 10 years and we've never used it in 10 years. But the possibility is always that you might use it.
And just for example, last year, year before, whatever it was, oh, look, what do you know, the assessment wasn't right and our whole budget is completely different and stuff. So this stuff is in case there's something weird or strange, and that stuff happens when it doesn't, how it does. We
Schedules out.
we didn't do this almost until you, Mike, we didn't do this almost till you became mayor. And we argued before about doing this. This does, and for this gang, this does not mean that we're planning to raise taxes. This means that, and most of the communities do it because it's the proper thing to do. So the 2% tax cap, you're supposed to, if there's an emergency and you want to raise them, you're supposed to have made a law that you can override it if you need to. We don't ever intend to, we don't want to, but we started a long time ago, and most of them do it. You vote that you can. And so I move that we pass the tax cap override.
I'll second that.
Yes, thing is, we have never gone over.
No, but it's.
We always do our best to stand.
We
It's hard
don't,
work.
we don't need to try to remember it while we're doing the budget. That's just, I mean, it's just good to get it done.
Go to the NICOM meeting and they will tell you that as good governance, you should do it. And we know we should do it, and we do it.
Great. Let's vote on, we got a motion and a second. Let's vote on that. Fran,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Trustee.
Yes.
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 And yes. Oh my God, we got public comment at the end. I'm gonna say it.
It's Laura Young again, 22 Fulton Street. Concerning documentation, I have the Owego code book here too. To actually make an official complaint, there's a procedure. And people are expected to do that. And that can be done by making something in writing, a document about the issue at hand, the name, the address of the person, the signature, and giving it to the department head, and or sending it individually to each trustee. That's how we get documentation. That's how people are able to use the Freedom of Information law. And that's why we have to date, roosters crowing officially on the record. They're not there. I did a foil on it. Trustee Fuller, I would ask you, with all due respect, to get an email address. You do not have to ever answer legally an email. You have no obligation whatsoever to ever respond. However, what it does do legally is show that communication was sent to you, and that communication can be found using a Freedom of Information request. It is standard practice in New York State. I would ask you, I don't understand why you don't have one. But like I said, that is a direct way of finding documentation. So I would really suggest you consider that. Thank you.
Anybody else public comment at the end?
I'm going to reiterate what I said before. I think in order to make a decision, you need to have facts. You can't make a logical decision, you can't make a legal decision without facts. Right now, I've heard no facts. I've looked to the code enforcement office. They don't have any complaints at all about chickens. I've talked to the Owego police. They don't have any official complaints about chickens. You guys have told me that you've got complaints about chickens, but there's nothing written down, so there's no, and here's the problem. You go to an event, somebody says, oh, I've got a problem with chickens in my neighborhood. Great, they talk to you, they've reported it. What's the next step? The next step is to take action. If you don't take action, it's not a complaint. It's a gripe, it's a whatever. So all I'm asking is the same thing I've been asking for a year. What's the complaints and what steps have been taken to fix it? And if you don't have that information, I've stepped forward, based on the thing I sent you, I've stepped forward to say, I'm willing to volunteer to collect this information. Just route all the calls to one spot. I don't want all the animal calls. I just want the chicken calls, so that we can get a good, solid feel for what's going on. Because right now, you're making a decision with no information.
Doesn't the board keep minutes? So you must have that documented.
There is nothing.
Therefore,
There is nothing.
I would just like to say one final thing on that. In the code book itself, it lays out official procedures. Official procedures exist for a reason. And that is writing, not having somebody call you, not talking over coffee. If someone has a real complaint, these are adults. We are adults. They can write an email that can be found. The documentation can be traced. Anything else is not an official complaint. It does not count. Thank you.
And Rod, in case you don't have a copy, you should have a copy. Everybody should have a copy. But in case you don't, I'm officially giving you a copy for the record. This is my proposal.
You do not trust my word, sir.
I don't trust anybody's word.
Ouch. A copy of your house.
I
already sent it to Kim.
Do you have coffee?
There's probably one person who trusted here.
I should hope so.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone here has gotten it except for you and Rusty.
Broad sense.
I don't have the ability to send it to you.
I have it,
Okay, I'm just saying.
I
But I think it's,
everybody a copy.
okay, I figured they would, and I wanted to make sure.
And I sent it to Kim for the minutes.
Yeah. Sorry. And we have one from Lori.
Chamber?
One of the things, when we started the backyard, Owego backyard chicken page, one of the intents for that was to get to know the village chicken keepers, who they are, what motivates them. There have been times when problems have been handled before they become problems, because we now have a community that identifies with each other. And I think these people are all waiting. The reason you had so many people calling in tonight, because for almost the whole last week, every day, we have put the link on the Owego Backyard Chicken page. So if you saw a real uptake in people dialing in, you know why. And they are all concerned about losing their roosters and then their hens, and if they sell eggs, their farm stands. Because the last meeting, some of us did hear that was the plan, ban the roosters, and other things could be added in under the ban. So if we're uncomfortable, we should be uncomfortable. It's underhanded.
Anyone else? Public comment?
Yes, thank you. I want to say thank you to Laura for her standing up against fascism. I think that's what she said. I couldn't hear. Because you're going into people's backyards and policing what they're doing. What's next? That it's a slippery slope. Your windows are closed 9 months out of the year at least. So you're not hearing roosters all day. You're maybe hearing them early in the morning. Close your window if it's that big of an issue. There's tons of resources that they have worked on, and I don't know if you've taken it serious, because it is serious. And I think Laura and Kathy, I thank you for your words in the last meeting as well. I listened to that, and you gave some good comments, so thank you. During World War I, II, the Great Depression, we've all had to have victory gardens and raise our own animals. Owego is unfortunately an agricultural town, and if you don't like it, yeehaw out of here. I don't know what to tell you. I grew up here. I've been here my whole life, and I've smelled cow shit my whole life. You name it, we've smelled it. I hear Weissman's trucks all day long when I used to live on Main Street, all day long when I used to work overnight, or when I used to work overnight during the day. I would hear constantly. It was never a crow. It was kids. It was traffic. So I implore you to please think of these other avenues, and to please. There was no facts given. You have no complaints. Do you have an official complaint? Because I have yet to see one or hear one. You may think that Front Street deserves to not have a chicken, but I think everyone should have a chicken and a rooster so that they can have baby chickens and focus on that. I hope you all reconsider, and thank you again.
Mike, can I make a comment?
Sure.
Last spring, there were several complaints, letters sent to the mayor about problems. There was a petition that got signed.
Do we get those in
by-
the foil?
You can get them by FOIL, the minutes from last spring. Okay, and so then Mike turned to Terry and I and said, put together a chicken law. So that's what we did. We did research, we talked to people, we did research in online, etc. And we never hid any of it. We talked to all the residents that were questioned to us about it. So it's not
I know
underhanded.
residents that have been, so I know that you haven't talked to every resident.
Okay, so we're not gonna go back and forth.
No, but I'd like to say one thing. I did file Freedom of Information requests. I filed them. They included any and all emails sent to the board, any and all letters, physical letters sent to the board with chicken complaints. There were 2. One was already solved. It could have been solved with existing code. The second one was a woman who wanted to hide her anonymity and was bizarre. Ma'am, I filed those and I can prove it that there are none there. I filed from DPW. I did due diligence. You have no complaints. Thank you.
A complaint you're talking about? Do you know that it was unfounded? Do you know that they found out that it was false reporting? No.
According to your minutes, there was a letter from several residents in this village. Over 100 people signed the letter in favor of chickens. And the petition you're talking about, Fran, my understanding is that the lady was going around saying it was for chickens and then rewrote it so that it was a ban on chickens. And several of the people who signed it.
That's not true. We did not write a ban on chickens.
I would like to not get into it.
I don't wanna get into this, so.
Yeah.
All the people that I know of that signed it have reneged.
We're not banning anything. We didn't even pass anything. And like, some of you don't even live in the village, so.
But I just want it to be understood.
Okay, so public comment is closed.
I was given absolutely